Welcome to Behind Recapped YouTube channel. Tension of the war between Ukraine and Russia accelerated extensively with the pointy movements of both facets. There's no room for even the slightest mistake on this battle anymore. If the radical and risky selections taken by means of Russian President Vladimir Putin thus far continuing the system of escalating the conflict on the front, Moscow may also lose this war tons quicker. The Ukrainian army is not in a passive and resistance function because it was on the beginning of the conflict with the assist of the West and America. The cave soldiers have come a long way of their warfare for freedom, especially in current weeks. The Kyiv military has began to behavior severe unexpected operations in regions focused through the Russians, the regions in which the freshest conflicts take vicinity at the moment are Bakhmut in the east and Melitopol inside the south. Russia has made an obsession with Bakhmut, which it has not been capable of seize for 10 months. Putin's troops had launched the fierce offensive in latest days to capture the metropolis of Bakhmut, but the army gadgets of the Ukrainian armed forces in the road location did now not permit them to take manage of the town. At the contrary, Zelensky's brave soldiers succeeded in launching counter-assault, blowing up dozens of invading army bases, ammunition depots, and many positions on this town. Wherein Russia desired to acquire a symbolic victory, it became claimed that masses of Russian squaddies died as a result of the assaults that passed off in the aforementioned city. However, the Russian government has always tried to cover the quantity of the casualties, even though this legendary rise of the Ukrainian military issues the Moscow management does now not appear feasible to save you. This develop at the moment in this conflict wherein airstrikes came to the foreground. Operations have been in large part forgotten. However, the tank unit of the Kyiv military commenced to take steps to restore the significance of ground operations. The armed forces of Ukraine released a hanging chain of offensive operations. The tanks of the Kyiv army entered the Novosilivska border against the backdrop of the ongoing tries of the militia of Ukraine to defend the Swatovo and Kremina's strategic motorway line. It became discovered that the Kyiv troops controlled to penetrate the northern outskirts of the Novosilivska agreement. Novosilivsk is the village in Luhansk Oblast, placed near Kuzymovka and Kryvoshivka. Photos recorded on a UAV of the Ukrainian military confirmed the ranks of the Kyiv army advancing towards the middle of Novosilivska. The drone pictures had been pretty much like satellite TV for peace photographs. It became evident that the tanks of the Ukrainian Navy have been advancing toward the beginner Silivska area equipped for offensive movement. It's been suggested that there are dozens of army bases and munition depots and many trenches and positions allegedly belonging to the Russians in the center of the city, and at important points in this place the Ukrainian drone become recording every second, and ultimately the expected clashes in Novosilivska started out. Video captured through the Ukrainian drone confirmed the battle among an armored institution of Russian and Ukrainian soldiers. Satellite pics also immortalize this conflict. The large tank detachment controlled through the Kyiv soldiers came head-to-head with the Russian invaders. At Novosilivska, fierce clashes started with the tank pictures of the Ukrainian Navy infantrymen of the Moscow Navy stationed in this region inside the role of helpless resistance got here underneath the fire of the tanks of the Ukrainian army. Inside the photographs, it was claimed that the 72 tanks allotted to the Ukrainian army via Poland and the Czech Republic accomplished heavy bombardment hearth on the Russian troops. Due to those violent and powerful attacks, dozens of Russian fortification clusters had been blown up. Ukrainian artillery smashed 4 Russian ammunition depots. The Russian troops and Novosilivsk, which had suffered such a lot of heavy losses, needed to leave the location urgently whilst the Kyiv army persevered its advance from Novosilivsk.